thing going on in the royal household. And this week, as we know, has been no different. The second half of Harry and Meghan, H&M, their documentary, it's not a store that sells clothes, has finally been released. The couple have come under fire after accusing the royal household of waging a war on Meghan. Now, that is Prince, of course. Prince William and Catherine put on a united front alongside the King and the Queen Consort at the Christmas Carol service following this week's revelations. I'd love to give you that rundown, but who better to do it? Royal biographer Angela Levin. Angela, thank you very much for joining us. I know you couldn't come in because you've got a cold. Oh, I know.
The flu. Terrible flu.
Oh, well, you look good. You look well anyway. So you watched this thing, Harry and Meghan. Just talk to me about your take on it.
Well, I mean, if you say you're fed up with all these people going on strike, my goodness, I'm fed up with Harry and Meghan. They're phony, they're ludicrous, they're like spoilt children. I want this now type of attitude. I mean, it's quite extraordinary that Harry says, I don't believe in hierarchy anymore. You know, Meghan's done really well. She's doing a much better job than anybody else. And she should do it. I mean, are you crazy? Are you absolutely raving loony? And that's because he adores her. He thinks she's wonderful. That's fine. But keep it to yourself, because there are a lot of people who don't. I mean, in fact, there are 82% of people in this country, so the Telegraph said this morning, who felt that they didn't want Harry and Meghan even to come to the coronation. So, you know, he can have his feelings for her, great, but also the attacks on his brother. I mean, I remember when I was interviewing him for the biography I was writing, and he told me, you know, William is the only person he can trust, all his wonderful qualities, how much he saved him, how when he had mental health issues, he was so helpful, he was wonderful. And then the next minute he says that he screamed and shouted at him. Well, we don't know, of course, how loud the scream or the shout was. I mean, it's not exactly horrendous if your brother just shouts at you every now and then. But it's all that's left open. You know, lots of complaints, but actually no proper information. And then he accuses his father, the King of England, as being a liar. Now, I mean, what appalling comment is that? It's not funny, it's cruel, it's nasty, and he should know better. I'm very surprised that the King and the Queen Consort would say, you know, yes, they can come. But on reading a bit more about it, it looks as if it's a little bit cunning, and that they're saying, you know, members of our family are all welcome. So they're not going to actually beg for them to come. They're just going to see what happens to them. But I think they will take over as in some way. It'll be very difficult about protection and their children. Of course, it will be Archie's 4th birthday. And I think that they will take all the attention away. I really think it's a very bad thing. If they hate the country so much, if they hate the monarchy so much, stay away. Don't come back today.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, look, I'm just fed up with it. Where else can they go? What is left? And also the launch of this thing kind of overshadowed Prince and Princess as well. Their carol concert that they attended with the King and Queen Consort, which I thought was really, you know, that was just a little bit unfair, really.
Yeah, well, that's what they aim to do because they can't stand her. And they can't stand her because she's elegant, she works hard, she's very supportive of her husband, and they think that's not the way to do it. But what was quite cunning as well, subtle rather than cunning, is that Meghan complained that she was told that she couldn't wear the same colours that anybody else was wearing. And so she said she wore neutral colours so she wouldn't offend anyone. But I remember an interview her saying, I don't ever wear colours, I only like neutral. So that's one lie. But this other one was that she couldn't wear it if anyone else was. So I don't know whether Catherine did something, but it was very funny to see her, Charlotte, and 2 other royals, her sister and Zara, all dressed in the same colour. And you don't have to say something, you can just prove it by getting them in the right costume, as it were. And they all look gorgeous. And the children were, I thought, so well behaved and so well trained and obviously enjoying it. It's on Christmas Eve, so I think everybody who can, should watch and support them and not listen to whatever the latest trick Meghan and Harry do to prove that they're far more worthy.
Well,
but how can you do it? The other thing. Sorry.
I was just going to say that, frankly, I'd like to see a press blackout from them, because I think if that happened, then there'd be nothing left. Listen, Angela, we're running out of time.